What's going on, you guys? Keith Carnes here, and today I'm bringing you another, I guess you could call this another monumental video. Ever since these bad boys came in the mail a day or two ago, I wanted to do a video on these shoes, comparing the differences in which shoe you might think is better. If you're somebody that's maybe trying to decide, or maybe you're not sure the differences in what you would rather have between the 2001 and the OG, then this could give you a good idea of what you're working with, and maybe you can make your decision through this video. As I've stated when I was going over this shoe, I had mentioned that the 2001, which is this red one, was a more complex shoe, and as you can kind of tell just by looking at it on the face, that there's a lot more going on here than there is here, and that's not necessarily a bad thing or anything against this shoe. It's just kind of funny to look at them, and there's really kind of a big contrast. Now, something that really surprised me when setting up these shoes for the video was I could not believe how these shoes are like the same height and everything. I really thought this was going to be smaller than the 2001. Now, this might just be, I don't know, 20 years of me just thinking that this shoe used to be smaller than it is, or if the 2022 reissue is a bigger shoe. I'm not sure. I can't say for sure. I don't have an original pair from 20 or so years ago. Maybe somebody else could do it. I don't know. But this shoe has always been really huge and bulky to me. And to see this shoe, like, I mean, they're pretty much the same size. I mean, they are the same size. It's pretty crazy. Anyway, we're going to start with the front end here. I guess we'll start at the front. The toe cap on this, I was feeling this when I took it out of the box, is really smooth. You have a ton of stitching up here. This guy here, which is kind of weak, but you have a lot more room to run laces through. That's one thing I hate about this one, is it's really thin. So getting a second pair of laces in this is a real pain in the keister, as they say. This dude is, let me actually see if I can get a little profile for you. Yeah, see how open that is? You could probably get 3 laces in there if you wanted to go crazy. So that's definitely cool on that shoe. The toe caps, it's a very soft material. This is going to bend, fold. I can't really fold it with one hand, and that's probably going to be cracking over a long period of time. I mean, that's cool if you're wearing them. They're going to wear down. Who really cares, right? You don't know. I don't think you're going to really get that with this, but the D3, the 2001 is notorious for this little design here on the toe cap with the Osiris symbol, is notorious for lifting, but it's just with a lot of wear and tear. There's a lot of defense here, so if you stub your toe into something, that's really strong. This, on the other hand, actually it's pretty strong in the middle, very soft on top. This one is a lot more rugged. So as I said, this is more complex and just a way more complicated shoe. So toe cap, there you go. This I can already tell is going to be a much more durable shoe. Tongue design, pretty cool. Some people actually lace through here. These always feel like they're like glued, but I guess they're not, but you really have to shove a lace in there. I wouldn't risk it because I wouldn't want to rip it. Plus, I don't really like that look. Got this cool little rivet here on this guy here. You have, try to pull these down, this cool design of like these 3 holes there. Then up here, funnily enough, you have, like, as I pointed out in my review video, you have like a hair tie thing going on. I think that's just hilarious because it's like a hair tie. I guess it's a place so you can put your laces again. I don't like that look, but some people do. Here you have the Osiris symbol behind rivets. Here you have them in the little window, which I like this style more. Just wish they would have used a hard plastic instead of a soft bending plastic. And this one doesn't have a pull helper. This one does, but I actually have in previous videos said that I don't recommend pulling these because I did pull these to help me get it on one time and it ripped right out. So don't do that. At least in my experience. I guess we can move to the bottoms. So one of the cool things about these shoes, actually let me get you up here, hold on. Bear with me, guys. One of the cool things about these shoes is about the 2001s is they got this really cool centerpiece. Now ignore this rippling. Sometimes you get shoes from Osiris and there's like defects. Fortunately, that's a defect. It's really folded. And then in the middle here you have this. As I said in the review, this used to be plastic. It's now a really hard rubber. But as you can hear, it's very strong. This, very strong. These are very durable shoes. A lot of rubber sole. These have never been worn. Here, I honestly I really can't tell you guys which soles would be better. If you notice, they both have the same design. They just have little differences. But both are really, really cool and iconic. I honestly love this huge Osiris symbol on the bottom. I think that's just really cool. You got like a little light patch right there. I don't know what's going on there. And then here you got the old school Osiris. Find it? Old school Osiris. The direct influence. D3 2001. And just simply Osiris in the old text. Flipping these over, we can go to the backs. Let's push that. Okay, it just rolled over because the other shoe's in there. That's okay. All right, looking at the backs. God, bear with me, guys. Doing my best. I'm going to try to get a better setup, I promise. The backs of these are both, again, iconic. I hate to use that word. It's kind of overused. But both are very recognizable. You could literally just take a picture like that, and people would instantly be able to tell you which is which. Always loved this look. I like all the mesh. I think the mesh is really cool. I've always liked like this little smiley mouth looking thing, whatever it's supposed to be. And of course the Osiris symbol. You have the old school Osiris writing. Wake up. Come on. There we go. You got the old school writing down there. And then on the 2001, you get this cool D3 logo there. It's pretty cool. You get reflective stuff here. This is a very hard back, and on this shoe it's more bendable. So you got more protection on this one for sure on the back end. Some rivets or whatever here, and then of course you got your air pockets, your air system, which you don't have on the back here, but you do have on the side. Between the two backs, honestly, God, it's hard to pick. I think a more iconic back would probably be the 2001, just because it's been available a lot more, and it's I think it's the most recognizable between the two. I'm a sucker for this one, but I also just love the OG. But if I had to give it to either, which one has the better back in terms of build quality and overall look, I'd probably lean a little more towards the 2001, but I really, really love this shoe. Next up is padding, and this is actually something I really want to talk about. Here, let's look at the tongues. So first of all, let me fix this real quick. The tongue of this shoe is nice and fat and thick. There's a lot of cushion there. A lot of cushion. But this is where the 2001, at least the modern 2001s, really bother me. There's not a whole lot of padding, and you can see it. If you look here, laying it on its side, that is just your padding. Just that little, it's like a pinch. Back here is a little better. It gets thin way down here, but here it's actually pretty good here for your heel. So on the heel, it's okay. Sides, it's really lacking. And I know for sure that when these shoes came out 20 years ago, this shoe had a way more comfortable padding system. I wish Osiris would stop being cheap, because I know that's what they're doing. They're just trying to save money. I wish they would stop doing that, though. These are $115 after tax. These are about $120 shoes. They are not cheap by any stretch. Put some freaking money back into them. Give us clouds. Come on, man. I mean, we're literally paying way more than we've ever paid for these shoes. This is where the OG easily wins the contest. The padding. Now, these are a black insole, so you guys are going to have to work with me here a little bit. But these, let me try to put it towards the light. The lighting in my room is ass. Sorry, guys. The padding is huge. I mean, like I told you, I could just slip my hand like just halfway in, and it's already like around my wrist. The padding in these is phenomenal, and it looks very similar, if not exactly the same, as 1999 to 2002 when these were last available. So Osiris really killed it. Very happy with that. The tongue issue, though, it's not an issue, but the tongue is a little thinner than this guy. So the 2001 definitely has a thicker tongue. So if you like that, especially if you skateboard and you want to keep the deck from hitting your ankle right here, then this one would protect you probably more. But I think this would do just fine. And you got this little bubble here that would actually probably absorb a lot of the deck. Next thing I want to talk about was the air pockets. Now in the OG, as you see, that rhymed, these literally have just two little windows on both sides. Identical, same thing, and you can see right through it. Pretty cool. And on the 2001 shoe, boom, it goes around the entire shoe on both sides. So obviously the 2001 has a way cooler system. You can see right through it. And I like these little spikes that come up. It's just such a sick look. I think the sole pattern and stuff is definitely a 2001. I really like this little groove here where it goes like that, and then on the other side it abruptly stops, but it has its own little window thing here. Very cool. Definitely wins the game. In terms of breathability, this shoe just has great breathability. You got these little windows here for breathing, so your sweaty feet aren't so unbearable. You got the old school Osiris writing right there. You got the plastic side rockers, which it went on to donate basically to these, which, as I said in my review video, that's a good point, is these are the exact same. And there's your proof. You got these rivets. Some people don't like it, but as I explained, the laces would tear through the rubber. When these were all rubber, the laces would tear through them over time. So Osiris obviously knew that was an issue, and they eliminated it by just putting in plastic. Just for the pure sake, just for purity or whatever, just to be a purist, it would have been cool to see the rubber return, but this is the most understandable change that they made, and I fully support it. I get it, right? It's like, yeah, it would have been kind of cool to see it completely original, but it would have been cool. I know, I'm a nerd. What can I say, guys? I would say I'm way more than just obsessed with this shoe. With this shoe, as in both of these shoes. But that is them. That is the 2001, the OG that has been out of circulation until 2022, since 2002, so a 20-year absence. So so it begs the question, which one should you get? And this is what I'm going to tell you. If you want a lighter shoe, watch out, buddy. If you want a lighter shoe, this dude is very light. I can easily pick it up with just 2 fingers. I can throw it around, very easy. But it's very durable, like I said, very, very, very durable. That actually hurts my knuckles. So very durable shoe, beautiful shoe. Very simple. It's not smaller as I thought it was, but it's such a more simple shoe. I think the padding's going to definitely be a big plus with this shoe over the 2001. So if you're looking for a lightweight, maybe even breathable, because this is all mesh, whereas on the D3 2001 it's not. And then you have all that thick padding, you have a lighter tongue, a lighter shoe overall. This is definitely yours. If you want something light, you don't want to feel like you have boats on your feet, moon boots, if you will, which people sometimes refer to the 2001 as, then this is your boy. He's still a chunky boy, but it's not like crazy, right? The sole, but you are giving up some sole. Like, that's a good point I just noticed. The sole on the shoe is very thin back here. That's all the sole you get. That's always kind of been a negative thing that people have always pointed out, but that's just the way they are. A lot of very thin sole, whereas on the 2001, you have all of that. You have a lot more to work with, and it's cool because this is an actually older one, so it says helium what does it say? Helium compression system, but now it actually says 2001 forever or whatever on the newer one. So this is an older shoe, probably a couple years ago, that I've just never got around to wearing. Now, if you want probably a sturdier build quality, and don't get me wrong, the new OG is built really well, but if you want a shoe that is really, really built to take the abuse, I can't speak for the air compression system. I've had some bad experiences with these ever since I was a kid. It's a gamble, I'm not gonna lie. These like to pop sometimes for no reason, other times they'll last forever. So that's a gamble. That's the only thing Osiris really needs to work on with these shoes. But if you want a shoe, that's kind of like over a little bit, huh? That's kind of like a... Anyway, I'm noticing flaws as I stare at it. If you want a more durable shoe, you want a heavy shoe. Now this is 2, I can pick up with 2, but I'm definitely using a lot more strength to pick it up. It's, I can throw it around, of course. It's not like it's a brick. But this is a very chunky, heavy shoe. This thing, like I said, people have referred to this as moon boots. People have referred to this as wearing boats on your feet, and you definitely know they're there. And people have even laughed and said that they had great calf muscles because of wearing these through school and shit. So these are really heavy, but I think you're getting a little better build quality out of these in terms of probably lasting. Like I said, the sole is super thick. You have all this protection. You have a lot more going on here. Kind of more of a futuristic look. But it's your decision. If it were me and I could only get one, I'm a sucker. I'd go with the OG just because it started it all and I haven't had a pair in forever. But it's your choice. So very heavy, probably good build. You're giving up a lot of padding though, as I said. This shoe, great build. I think it's built better than it was 20 years ago. But it doesn't have as much as the protection as that shoe does with skating and other daily stuff. So it's of course it's personal preference. But if it were me, I think the OG is just a cooler looking shoe. I think it's a more simple shoe. And, of course, it's the one that started the phenomena of the Osiris D3. So I think we owe everything to this shoe. And I love that shoe. But I also love this shoe too. And I still plan on buying more of these as well. But this is definitely my focus right now. So anyway, guys, this is Keith Carnes, kind of off the cuff, of course. I never script any of my stuff, so I hope I didn't ramble too much. I hope it wasn't kind of random. Some things I said in there that I probably didn't need to say, but I just get really irrationally wrapped up in these shoes because I just love them. They were a part of my childhood. I grew up wearing these. They're shoes that I fell in love with in much better time in my life when I had a lot of friends and social and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to get into too personal stuff, but just much better, brighter days in my life when I was a kid. I had a good childhood at school, and these shoes just bring me back to those days, man, because these shoes were huge in my school, and everybody that was anybody had a pair of each of these shoes, so it was so cool. And it's just cool to see them back, and I'm glad that these are in rotation again, and there you go. So lighter, much lighter, maneuverability, more practical, definitely. Probably last a little longer. Kind of beefier, I guess. And durability, that's your boy. Either one, guys. But they're great shoes. I recommend both of them. And God, I cannot wait to wear these. Look how badass those look. Anyway, you guys take it easy. Thanks so much for the support and watching, guys. I really love how many of you have been tuning in. And I don't know, we'll see what the future holds. Take it easy, be safe, and I'll see you when I see you. Peace.